Goldshaw Farms, a controversial figure in the homesteading and farming community on YouTube. And he's a full-time farmer through different means. And he gets a lot of pushback, and he addresses it here. Alrighty. So this is a Q&A Goldshaw Farms is doing, and this is generally answering the question of, you know, he's chasing this dream of having a farm, but he gets to do it in a privileged way.
Are representing an unsustainable farming model to people that have a similar starting a farm dream. P.S. Love your transparency.
I'm not sure that that's really a question, but I personally don't think that my farm business model is unsustainable. I mean, heck, I'm able to sustain it. I do think I know where this question asker is coming from, in that not everybody can do what I did, and I think that's 100% true. But that's why I try to be very open and honest about the finances of the farm, and, you know, how much we make actually from farming operations versus the fact that I really do support myself much more from social media income versus anything else.
Would your farm...
So the biggest complaint in that question, which wasn't really a question, which he highlighted, was this is an unsustainable farming method. Now, guys, my dream, my absolute dream is to have a farm. I don't know why. It was something along when I got a dog 3 years ago. Just the idea of my pup running free sounded amazing. And then I'm so in the tech world. I work for a YouTuber. I've been doing video production for so long that the idea of working with my hands and having chickens and having a cow and doing some of the farming stuff. Like I love the gardening now, a small scale of that. The dream for me is to have a farm. So I love watching this farmer and seeing how he's kind of doing it from a small scale as someone that just started. But the complaint is that it's an unsustainable model. You're not actually showing people how to start a farm. You know, and he's like, hey, I'm being fairly transparent. Now, this next question gets even deeper.
Have survived without social media income.
Because of the way we started the farm, meaning I had the capital in hand to buy the farm and get going there, and then I worked a day job for several years really to finance living versus trying to live off the profits of the farm. Yes, I actually think our farm would have survived without social media. I can guarantee that it would have looked very different, but I also am pretty certain that I would still be farming here in 2023, even if social media had not taken off, and even if we hadn't grown the way we've grown. Hey dog, how's it going?
As a YouTube creator.
So he kind of points out the fact there's multiple ways to achieve your dream, right? Whatever that dream is, that your desired outcome, right? So some people are like, hey, let's go with farming here. I want to start a farm. And do you think your farm would have died if it wasn't for social media? And his point is, no, there's more ways to get it. I would have just worked my job longer. A lot of people drink the Kool-Aid when they're chasing a dream and I have to quit my job. And this is my quitting story. I actually was talking to somebody that had the opposite. They quit their job because they wanted the quitting story, completely failed and had to go find another job. It like fell flat on their face. I mean, that's probably a majority of the stories that we just don't hear. And so what he was saying is, I was just working my corporate job. I would have done that for longer. It would have been not as pretty, not as beautiful, not as much of a come up story, but he could have done it, but instead the social media took place. I think the biggest thing he dropped here was that there was multiple ways to achieve his goal. And I actually like the fact that he's a farmer that makes his money from social media. He found an additional way to achieve the dream. I think he has like 150 acres out in Vermont, right? So he found an additional way to fund his dream and he made it work, right? Whether that is you working a job, don't quit your day job, right? You building up another side hustle that makes enough money where you can go pursue the bigger thing. I mean, that's my goal. My goal is to, in my day job, make enough money to where I can fund buying a little farm. And I think that's very practical. And I would take it one step further that I think this is a model that should be being replicated in a lot of different industries. I just look at the church. How does the church have a lot of access to resources, right? There's a lot of people that go to church and they're willing to give cameras, give lighting gear, give audio gear. And the church is like, we're a nonprofit, we're taking tithes. Now, tithes are cool, right? Funding your church through donations, funding your nonprofit through donations is cool. But what if every church, what if every nonprofit also set aside time every single week, 5 times a day, or 5 times a week to create YouTube content or to create some sort of content, and then make money that way so that you're not relying solely on donations. A lot of nonprofits are already content machines. If you think about a sermon, what is that? That's providing content. You already have communicators. The biggest downside to telling someone to get into the content side hustle, like a regular Joe, is that they might not have the skills on camera or the video skills to be able to communicate that content. So it's actually not a very reliable avenue for a side hustle, even though it's the most desired, YouTube is the most desired career among Gen Z, but it's not the most accessible. But if you think about nonprofits, especially churches, whose sole priority is delivering content essentially on Sunday, and then communication and pastoring the people that go there, why are they not already creating additional content and learning the skill of YouTube so that you can generate extra revenue? I mean, I know YouTubers, personally know YouTubers with 1 to 2 channels generating between $10,000-$15,000 per channel every single month. Not every year, every single month. And if nonprofits, specifically churches, but any nonprofit really, took this model of like, hey, we have this thing that is bigger than us, that is doing a lot of great work, but we're not going to rely on other people to just understand how much they're impacting the community. We're actually going to create stuff that's almost a for-profit business model, even though it doesn't have to be for profit, but it covers your expenses. That's amazing. So I think people can learn from Goldshaw, whether you're pursuing a dream and you got to work a job, don't quit the job, or you have some sort of business, side hustle, nonprofit, church that you want to start. What's an additional way you can create income? Most people are looking at the farming model and saying, okay, you got to sell enough chicken, sell enough eggs, you got to sell enough beef cows, you got to sell enough produce. And he's like, or you can just get views. Or you can just go get views. So I think people need to look what is, like, we need to start looking, what is a lateral step you can take to achieve the same goal. It doesn't always have to be delivering on the product that your industry typically delivers on. All right, if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more of this type of content, and comment down below. I want to know what your thoughts are on this. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.